We are
Didi
and Arma, and in our daily lives we support people on the path of self-liberation. We teach time-tested energy skills like Qigong, Tai Chi, internal alchemy, traditional nutrition and meditation.
We help people release stagnation, build energy, and become aligned with themselves and their purpose in life.
In this podcast, we share the methods, skills, and solutions that helped us, our students, and now hopefully you move forward.
Let's explore transformation together.
And today we're talking about how to reclaim our true power.
Yeah.
True power.
That's a great title. I love it.
Well, it sounds strong, doesn't it?
Yeah. And it's what Chi Skill stands for.
Absolutely. That's what we're helping people with. And
Yeah. And so in reclaiming your true power, it's also something like, oh, we've lost something along the way. Yeah. Reclaiming.
Yeah.
So,
well, we lose the connection with ourselves, who we truly are. And that's something that we try to restore, because the true power is your energy, of course, and having the experience as an energy being. Yeah. That's the most important, because that's the connection we lose.
Yeah.
We get lost into an identity, you could say, along the way. And we lose this connection with feeling and we lose the moment as well. Yeah. Yeah. You know, power lies in the moment. Yeah. And that's the thing I think we're going to explore a little bit in this podcast, because that's a beautiful topic.
Yeah, because you kind of, when you grow up, when you're a child, you just, it's you live with other, as you sometimes call it, energy beings.
Of course, yeah.
People, they are all energy, and you depend on them for your survival. Yeah. They have to take care of you, because when you're a baby, you cannot take care of yourself. So you kind of learn from a very young age that your behavior has a impact on others.
Yep. Yep.
And
vice versa, right?
And vice versa, yeah. And you're gonna mirror the people around you.
Of course, yeah.
Because they are around you. And so here is behavior, unconscious behavior.
Being developed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And these patterns. And so, and then you grow up and you get into these behaviors more and more, because then you go to school.
Yep.
And that's, there's something to learn there. Then you get all these levels and people showing you how to do it and why you live here, instead of you ask that to yourself.
Well, I didn't have Qigong class when I was in school.
No,
it wasn't there.
No,
I mean, we had sports, but we didn't have any class that was about who are you?
Yeah.
Who are you really? Except your brain.
And the one thing that was absolutely missing from school is that you would learn about energy and how energy works. Although it was there all the time.
Well, yeah, physics or stuff like that, of course, but it's not that.
But they didn't. It was all on a very unconscious level.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
So how was that for you growing up? Where did you become more conscious about, being disconnected with yourself?
I think it's just a feeling. At a certain point, there's a feeling of being very uncomfortable in situations and around other people and in situations with other people, right? Yeah. So like sitting in a classroom and having all these energies going on. And I think what I started to see is that the patterns that, people have when they grow up in their own family, they sort of expand into the classroom, and they expand later to college and in groups of people where in work or, relationships with other people. And at a certain point, I felt very uncomfortable in my own skin, you could say.
Yeah.
Whereas I have a clear remembrance of feeling very good in my skin, you could say, as a child, right? Feeling very connected and being very present. I still have that recollection, especially since starting Qigong again. you sort of restore that connection, and you have this direct link when you were a child. You're like, oh yeah, that was it. It was this state of being.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's just feeling pretty bad and confused, I guess.
Yeah.
But you see, especially when I went, I think maybe around my, early teens or something like that, everything changes. Of course, there's all these hormones going on as well. And there's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, absolutely.
But absolutely a state of confusion. And also becoming more and more, how you say, heavy towards myself.
Yeah, not taking too much care of yourself.
Yeah, but also being angry with myself, and thinking that there was a lot of things wrong with me because I didn't, got this grade or had the, just feeling different. I guess also it's like feeling cut off.
Yeah.
So yeah, it sort of implodes at a certain point, and I'm pretty sure a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah.
Is that you sort of get into a more cut off state.
Yeah.
Than actually being aligned. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And not being the one to decide how you feel yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think for me, also school was not always the best place to go to. It's like, although I really enjoyed learning, but all the kind of groups and it was not the best experience.
Yeah, it's not per se about the subjects, I guess. It's more about how do you feel in such a space.
Yeah, and always people judging you about how you're doing. And
more is better, the grades, the stuff like that,
And the thing was when the teachers were kind of judging or giving you grades, but then your fellow students were looking at what kind of clothes, your hair, your looks, and all that kind of stuff, which doesn't really matter at all. But it was like, what friends did you have, and all these things that kind of happened there.
And there's a shift there towards like what is success. That sort of being put on you is like. So outward success means power, right? So exactly. I have a good grade, and I come home, my parents are pleased. Oh, you have a good grade. Oh, wow, this is good. More is better. Right?
Yeah, sure.
More is better. So outward success on the outside world means power. Well, that's where a lot of things can go pretty wrong.
Yeah. And I think that continued. I did pretty well in college because I love to study and go out and this, that was a great time. But then when I went to look for a job, I went to, I worked in an office. And that was the same as high school over again. It kind of looked like that with all these people that were judging each other, not going into the office very happy, or it depended on what job, but you saw a lot of people who came in not being very happy going there.
Right, but it's that's the way the success thing is being brought to you. To such an extent that people don't follow their feelings anymore, right? And that's where you truly are giving your power away.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because along the way, you're going to try to, survive sort of in this situation. So what are the things that you're going to give your power towards to, right? The opinions of others, the way they judge you, more the way you think they judge you, because it becomes like a total beep thing in the mind. So it's all about where this energy is leaking and where you get a disconnect from your own energy. So how bad does it have to be to make a change? Well, for me, it was pretty bad.
Yeah. But also, do you see possibilities beyond what you're doing? Because I see a lot of my colleagues from that time, they didn't see any other opportunity. Right. That was their life. That was what they were set up to, from being born, going to school, going to college, and then you find a job and a family, you get children. It's kind of the path.
It's a laid out plan.
It's a laid out plan. And then when you're Well, the only opportunities you have is look for another job in another office or
Make a career or
yeah. And so there was not really another. They didn't see any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
So this is where the power gets taken away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because you have to sort of be in line with this expectance.
Yeah.
And where does that start? I think that a lot of that starts in school, actually. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So that's also where I start losing it, but never really lost the connection. So there was also a little bit of a rebel in me all the time. It's like I'm going that direction because I have to follow what my feeling. I have to follow my gut.
Yeah, because you had a different path. I mean, you went into music. You kind of, and then the qigong came onto your path. So you've already felt. I was much more following my parents' instructions. But also, I think all the time, like you, I saw, there's more to it.
Yeah.
And and how do I was on this kind of crossroad at a certain point that I was not feeling well at my job at the time. And I was kind of, okay, I can do what everybody else is doing, look for another job, and I did. I did try to find another job. And I was like, every time I came back from a job interview, I was like, but this will be totally the same.
Yep.
Just another
version of it.
Another version of the same. And then I decided, no, I don't want to do that anymore. I'm gonna go back to school and and develop me on another level.
Follow your feelings
and started to doing qigong every morning, and that really made the shift for me.
Yeah, so if we're talking about true power, what is then true power? It's the connection with yourself, and that starts with energy.
Yeah.
Right? If you can tune into your own energy body, there's your power right there. And that becomes sort of a mirror for how when you have this connection again, and you start working on yourself, creating strong fascia, creating a strong body, building up the foundation of who you are vitally, taking better care of yourself, you're going to really feel in certain situations like, I'm losing myself here, right? I come in a certain situation with a certain person or in a certain whatever, and I feels like, I've lost the connection now.
Yeah.
So, and now my energy is there.
Yeah.
I have no link with myself anymore.
Yeah.
The gravity is gone, you could say. And that's a really cool practice because at a certain point you're like, wow, what if I just stay connected with my energy field going in sort of the same situation later on? And you're like, wow, so this is how I reclaim my true power, is that in whatever situation I am, I can be in my power. I can have this connection with my energy field. It's as simple as that.
Yeah.
We lose this connection. We get distracted in the outside world, right? And everything we give attention to, it's taking our energy.
Yeah.
Right? So this is a really, really important thing because somewhere along the way, we're trying to control outside situations and it's never going to work.
No.
But we're giving our frustration or our anger or whatever, happens, our opinions and what we think about it and stuff like that. And that's where we're losing energy. We're losing energy.
So true.
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah. And that's an important thing. So I think Qigong is more about, what are the things we can actually control? And I do this quote unquote, right? Control, because the word is a little bit... But for lack of a better word, in this situation, you have to take control of yourself again.
Yeah.
If you want to move beyond that level. Yeah. Because that's the hard thing. When we grow up, we grow up in that level, in an unconscious energy field, you could say. So where's the escape? Well, the escape, there's no escape per se, because that's just going to happen around you. But if you start tuning into your own energy body again, what happens? Well, Didi, you have got experience with that. Yeah. So what happens when you tune into your energy field? You become much more still and present.
Yeah. And then I always say you have a choice.
Exactly.
You have a choice when you have that connection with yourself. Because back to the office again, when I started training and I would go into work, and every morning I would write down like, what do I want from the day?
Yeah, your affirmations.
And I would also, this is a funny thing, but I always draw a smiley for that day. I want to have a happy day.
Absolutely, yeah.
And so there was this one time, or not one time, but this was very clear. I went into the office and then my colleague came in and she had a very bad morning with her husband or her children, I don't know. And things at work weren't going too well. And she was very down and she was kind of projecting this to me, on me. And I was like, okay, now I have a choice. I can do the same as she does.
Right.
And go into her energy, because she was like a black hole. She was completely taking over.
She was sucking it up, yeah.
Or I can think of the smiley and just keep it to myself.
Yeah.
And just be there. And I don't have to stay. I don't have to stay in that room with her. I can just say, sorry.
Yeah, but that's a big thing, because somewhere along the line we learn to be polite and pay attention and be a good girl and just sit there and let that all wash over you.
Yeah.
Well, that's not powerful, people. That's really not powerful. So at a certain point, you have this choice, right? And then it's like, okay, I'm going to stay or I'm going to go. But if I'm going to stay, I'm going to determine what this energy is by staying connected with my own feeling and this smiley, right? No, I'm not going to let me drag down that hole.
Yeah.
Stay positive there.
Exactly.
Stay in your power.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Well, I actually said to her, like, oh, sorry, I have to go to the toilet. And I just walked away.
Wow.
And it felt really good. I was like, oh, I kind of made a wig between my energy and hers. And I must say, this is a person that she always came over to my office for getting some of my energy. Especially when she was not doing well, she would come and collect some of my energy, and then if she was happy, I wouldn't see her. So so it was kind of a good thing to say, I'm not giving you this energy. You can gain your own, and if I want to, I can give you, but not
in that way.
Not in that way.
No, of course, because you can, of course you can help people.
Yeah,
but you're not going to help from that place, right? If you're first put down and then you have to go, right? Yeah. That's not where you want to go. So go to the strength first, and from that stage you're going to be helpful, and can also be honest to people. Yeah, it's like just. But if you come from a place of a place of weakness, you could say, right? Because you're almost put in this state of weakness by the energy of the other person. Because you learn this from a very young age, right? Certain energies, you're going to respond this way. Other energy of people, you're going to respond that way, right? But in this case, you get a big mirror, because she's trying to put you there. And now you choose to, no, I'm not going to go there. Yeah. I'm here. And now from this perspective, I can help you. Well, her energy will bounce off like you're a trampoline. Yeah. Right?
Exactly. And it totally changed.
Yeah.
It totally changed.
And it helps her.
Yeah.
It's not going to help her if you're going to go with her.
Yeah.
Right? And we have also, people who are listening now, I'm sure you can relate to this, right?
Yeah.
Because this is so important. It's your energy that, unconsciously can go into a certain place where you really don't want to go. And then how do you feel, right? It has to start with you. Yeah. It just has to start with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Make this choice. Go back to the energy field and walk in. I have even students that I say, just put a post-it on your laptop, right? They're working maybe, well, especially the last couple of years, of course, they're doing a lot of work at home through Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And I just have them put a post-it there. Is that before they go into a meeting, right? Remember, stay tuned in your energy field, open up your spine, and from there flip on the screen and then join the meeting. And how does it go then, right? And stay connected. Make sure that a certain percentage of your attention and awareness is still on this energy field. And that's a great practice because now you have a choice, like you're saying. You have a choice. And that's true power, that you have a choice instead of unconsciously being thrown like a ball in a pinball machine, right? It's like, no.
Yeah. Oh, and that was something I had to learn, that I did not always have to respond in the moment.
Right.
I did not need to know everything right at the moment. So I could just, be there.
Yeah.
And and also with meetings, that's absolutely. I felt a failure if I didn't know the answer or didn't do, if I had all these faces around me that kind of looked at me like, what is she up to? That would make me very insecure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes it still can be. I mean, it's not.
Hey, you live and you learn, but you have more and more choice, right?
Yeah. And I'm much more easy to say, oh, I don't know it. I don't know the answer, but I will find out and I will get back to you. So, and that's much more powerful than trying to get
approval from everyone or whatever. And it's it's the same in every situation that people are in. Yeah. If it's unconscious behavior, it will also go to very unhealthy behavior, right? So and before you know it, you're also in this unhealthy behavior, right? So you said to yourself, okay, I'm not going to drink any alcohol. I'm going to take care of myself, and you're at this party, and without you knowing it, you have a beer in your hand, right? You're like, what?
Yeah.
How did this go? Right? Well, it's good, blah blah, and there you go.
Yeah.
But is that what you want? Is that true power?
Yeah.
It doesn't mean you have to. Have to change that in the moment immediately, but just become very aware of it while it's happening and drink this beer very consciously and become very consciously of what's happening around you. Because what happens, if people start drinking and stuff like that, they're giving their power away.
Yeah.
To this drink.
Yeah.
Right? This drink has to determine their energy, right? So now we feel good, right? Because it was like, and now we drink and now we feel more like that. But then, of course, it becomes too much. And watch that process. See how people are giving their strength away. Look at your beer and think for yourself: is that the right choice for me?
Yeah.
It's because the group consciousness saying that's all right, that's fine. But on the other hand, it's not fine at all, right? No. It creates all these problems, and it sustains these problems really.
Oh. Absolutely.
So that's also where you're giving your power away if you do the things that most people are unconsciously doing.
Yeah.
So you have to be step by step, be very careful about how you treat the media. What you're looking at. Where are you responding to? Yeah. What do you get in your body? All these things.
Yeah. And of course, I work with a lot of people around their food, and so. I always like it when I get to the point where I see people making conscious decisions.
Yeah.
And it's not that I tell them, this is not good for you or this you cannot eat. I say, okay, this is something that's difficult for you to digest. Now you make a choice.
Right.
How do you want to feel? Do you want to feel great? Well, then it may be a good idea to leave it out.
Yeah.
If you want to, if the group pressure is still too hard on you, maybe it's easier for you to kind of go with the flow and then eat the cake or drink the coffee that you've been given.
Yeah.
And that's also fine.
Yeah, but do it consciously.
Yeah.
That's the most important thing here. if you want to reclaim your true power, you have to become very, very aware and conscious of where your energy is going to.
Yeah.
And this is one part of it. So, and that's not about changing it right in the spot. It's nice if that starts to work, because in certain situations, that's really the case at a certain point, right? But going back to the foundation, of course, it needs a strong foundation. That's why we're in Qigong, where we're having this physical training as well. We have to build a strong spine in order to be strong, right? And being aligned with yourself and stuff like that. So, but it's a learning process for sure. But at a certain point, you're going through a sort of a point of critical mass, and you're so much more in control of your own energy and understanding of what's happening around you, and if you decide to respond to that thing or not. Yeah. And that's a great gift of Qigong training, because the truth lies there.
Yeah. We
get caught up in a false sense of who we are. We get lost in an identity, and this identity is dependent on success and blah blah, and it's crazy.
And what other people think.
Other people think, and then it's all on the outside, but you're losing on the inside. Yeah. So the only thing is, you have to go back to the inside and start building it up again. Physical training, strong energy body. Yeah. Balancing out the astral body, because that's really important. The astral body is all about how you feel, right? Yeah. And how you experience the world through feeling, and understanding that this astral body also has a memory, right? So what is still living inside you, right? That we also learn to release that out of the system, because that's where that's where our unconscious behavior can come from, right? We feel a certain way. It's like, oh, and I'm going to soothe myself because, right? We were talking about that, right?
Yeah,
soothing and balancing.
Yeah.
I mean, we're doing so much to soothe ourselves. Well, now I'm in this party. I deserve it, right? I have this beer and this cheese and this blah, blah. Yeah. And you pay the price for it the next day, right?
Yeah.
But how do you balance yourself?
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's much better.
That's much better, because then you start growing into your true power, and that's where eventually your spirit can come through. Yeah. Because on this other level, the spirit just cannot come through. There's no power there, because you're giving your power away. You're giving your spirit away, and your spirit's like, I'm out of here. Yeah. I'm out of here. Yeah. Find me later when you're aware enough, but, I'm not totally gone, but I'm not in the equation.
I'm waiting somewhere for
absolutely,
you, but
absolutely.
I'm walking in the woods.
Yeah, I'm in the woods while you're blah, blah.
Yeah, doing something else. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I love that. Mm-hmm. That's great. And I'm very grateful that we're on this path of Qigong and training this stuff.
And sharing this with people, of course, right? I mean, I'm sure you guys can relate, right? If you hear this. And but there's definitely a way out of there, and growing into your true strength. Absolutely.
Great. Well, that was a great podcast.
Yeah. Hope you enjoyed it too.
Yeah.
Oh, they're still listening. Oh, cool.
I hope so. So, if you like it, then subscribe. And,
and
hope to see you in the next one.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Bye-bye.